on him as the fastball misses just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. At one point, Gallagher faced 3 consecutive bunts against Orleans in the first half of a home and home. The 1-2. Changeup, bounced low, 2 balls and 2 strikes now. And typically that's unconventional baseball there. Ended up being a tie game between Orleans and YD. Kelly Nicholson, the field manager for the Firebirds, just trying to outsmart YD, and it ended up working out. Actually, forgive me, that was not the tie game. Of course, that was the game where YD ended up surviving 8-7 on a walk-off single by Nate Baez. The count is now full as Gallagher bounces the changeup by the ankles of Kyle Ball, the shortstop. So from 0-2 to 3-2, and Kyle Ball swings through the fastball, strike 3. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Pat Gallagher to start off this bottom half of the first, and 2 gone for the Harbor Hawks. It's Luke Mann's turn, 0 for his last 7 though.
Gallagher has looked good. He had 8 strikeouts and no walks last time he was on the mound. Mentioned the team won last time he pitched, but of course the stat line wasn't something that he was happy with, but he threw the ball effectively in that outing, limited the walks, and kind of fell victim to bunts and some small ball things that didn't go his way, but he has a ton of really good stuff, fastball low 90s with a ton of spin on it as well.
1 ball and no strikes as the fastball bounces on the plate. Another fastball sails by the shoulders, 2-0. Now talking to Tom Vasella, he said that Gallagher is one of his favorite pitchers on the staff just in terms of potential and stuff. And the fastball is something that he's really played around with early on. Goes to the changeup there. That's probably been his best pitch today. And Mann has no answer. Swings way out in front. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs and no one on. No score in the bottom of the first inning. But Gallagher's been working on getting more spin, more backspin on that fastball. That's been a big point of emphasis there as the slider bounces on the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Pat Gallagher started off this inning with 2 0-2 counts, ended up getting 2 strikeouts, but now it's 2 consecutive 3-ball counts. And the 3-1 to Mann is popped foul down the third base line. It ended up being a pretty long staring contest with Kyle Ball in that last at-bat from 0-2 to 3-2, and then Gallagher just challenged him on the elevated fastball, which is, again, something we should really be looking out for as a pitcher who's really trying to implement more rise and more backspin to that fastball. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. He got him on the slider, side retired. Oh, Pat Gallagher, welcome back to the mound. He strikes out the side in the bottom of the first, and at the end of 1, still no score between the Red Sox and the Harbor Hawks right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Top of the second inning, no score between YD and Hyannis, and Drew Bowser in his second game as a Red Sox, leading off the frame, swings through the fastball for strike one. Now, Bowser got the day off. Everyone did after the rainout yesterday. The entire league did. But in the last game, went 0 for 3 with 2 ground outs, a strikeout, reached on an error in his second at-bat in the 4th inning, and another swing and a miss at that fastball, knee-high strike. 0-2 now, no outs, no one on. First batter of the top of the second inning. Drew Bowser hands by his eyes and fouls it back into the mitt of the catcher. Dylan Post seals the deal for strike number 3 and out number 1.
And quick work there of Bowser to open the frame for Nolan. He is mixing in that slider changeup with the good fastball today. And you wonder how long he's going to go in this game. Has only thrown 3 innings on the year and 2 outings before this. He threw 1 inning and then threw 2 innings. So you wonder what the distance can be for this left-hander who's opening the game for the Harbor Hawks.
1 ball and no strikes now to Zach Liu, the right-handed hitter for YD. No one on and 1 out. No score in the top of the second inning. Count now 2-0 to Zach Liu. The fastball misses low and away. Now you're right, that's a very good point. How far will Jalen Nolan go even if he continues to pitch pretty well? And I think the answer has to have something to do with the fact that we didn't play yesterday, as the slider's in there, settles into the zone for strike 1 at 82 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. And there are plenty of pitchers who thought they would pitch today. There are plenty of pitchers that thought they'd pitch yesterday. And it kind of throws off that equilibrium, and now everyone wants to pitch. And if anything, that's going to shorten the day for Jalen Nolan. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Zach Liu chops it foul towards the Hyannis dugout. Working from the windup, the lefty kicks and deals, and Zach Liu way ahead of the slider again at 82. 2 gone. Two consecutive strikeouts to start off this frame.
And 3 strikeouts in the last 4 hitters, getting them all swinging, having the hitters off balance. And what Nolan's been able to do is get ahead early in the strike zone and then extend the strike zone later in the count.
Here's Pascal Ferreras, who takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1 at 93 on the inside corner. Ferreras leads the team in strikeouts. Actually went into this game leading the team in strikeouts. Now he shares that title with Chase Luttrell at 17 apiece. But strikeouts have been a big problem for him, and a perfect storm here with Jalen Nolan dealing via the strikeout as Ferreras pops it foul down the right field line and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes now with 2 gone, no one on in the top of the second inning. But Pascal Ferreras outside of the strikeout, and there's another one. 18 strikeouts for Pascal Ferreras on the year, and Pat Gallagher and Jalen Nolan trade strikeouts in the second inning. First and second inning, that is. Back-to-back pitchers striking out the side in back-to-back frames. In the middle of the second, no score between the Red Sox and the Harbor Hawks right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the second inning on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. No score between the Harbor Hawks and the Red Sox. And leading off the frame is Marcos Pujols, the DH, against Pat Gallagher, who was really dealing in his first inning of work, striking out the side for the Red Sox. Marcos Pujols bat on his left shoulder, and the left-handed hitter watches the fastball sail way high and way outside for ball one. Well, that's a very interesting stance for Pujols. He basically wags his bat, kind of like Fernando Tatis, and then rests it on his shoulder just to get going, and then stationary as the slider is knee-high, taken for a strike, 1-1.
And Pujols, big left-handed hitter, has an open stance, stands pretty close to the plate, and also comes up with a decent leg kick as well.
It worked for him this past year at Dayton, and as he pops it foul, out of play down the third base side. Zach Liu gives the look, only for cosmetics. So now it's 1-2.
You mentioned it worked at Dayton?
Yeah, it did. 346. This past season, he was a force. On the other hand, it hasn't worked much here in Hyannis. Hasn't been working much for any Harbor Hawk, for that matter, this season. Slider just off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes with no one on, no one out in the bottom of the second inning and no score. But Pujols has been just one little part of the problem. 222 on the year, and he's one of their leading hitters. And the tall, big, muscular DH watches the fastball by his ankles. The count is now full. So even though Gallagher has 3 strikeouts to his name in an inning plus, it's now the third 3-ball count that he's faced. Still working from the windup, unfazed though. Payoff pitch from Gallagher. Slider bounced over to second. Wyatt Hoffman fields it and flips it over to first in time. 1 gone.
And in a full count right there, that's a good opportunity to throw an off-speed pitch that you have confidence in. Pujols expecting the fastball. He rolled over, was out in front, and on a full count pitch, yeah, he could have tried to go get the strikeout, but what he did is he threw an off-speed pitch that he had command of in the strike zone and got Pujols to roll over. Nice execution on the 3-2.
So here's Ryan Romano, watches the first pitch change up the top portion of the zone for strike 1. Now Romano 0 for his last 10 after starting the season 2 for 2. Things were looking up for Romano as potentially the messiah of a very struggling Hyannis Harbor Hawk offense, and really hasn't worked out that way. No balls and 2 strikes after a great frame from Nate Baez on the knee-high fastball strike. And the 0-2. Fastball just off. 1 ball and 2 strikes now with 1 out and no one on. No score in the bottom of the second inning. Now Hyannis as a whole, 2-8 on the season. The worst team statistically in the CCBL. Slider just off again. 2-2.
Yeah, Brad, a 183 team batting average and averaging less than 3 runs a game. So to start the season, the offense has been a struggle.
Chopped foul down the third base line, and Zach Liu doesn't even flinch. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Ryan Romano. You're right. The offense has been a big problem. 183 as a team this season through 10 games. That's the worst mark in the league. And Romano takes a fastball off the brim of his helmet, pushed off the plate, takes the helmet off, drops the bat, and takes a few moments to catch his breath. A scary sight in Hyannis, but he's fine, it looks like, as he trots over to first, seemingly unfettered, and he tips his cap over to Pat Gallagher saying, hey man, no harm, no foul. So Ryan Romano basically inches away from disaster, and everyone in Hyannis giving him an ovation as he trots over to first unharmed.
Gallagher in 14 games at UConn just had 4 hits batsmen, so rarity for the right-hander.
Here's Mason Greer, the first baseman, who fouls the first pitch fastball out of play. So it's a runner on first, Ryan Romano. First time he's been on base since his debut. And Hyannis getting base runners, that's been one of their Achilles heels. Different ways to define a very bad offense, a struggling offense. No balls and 2 strikes after the foul ball down the first baseline to Mason Greer. And you could talk about the strikeouts, 11.5 strikeouts per game. That is one of the league's worst numbers, and league worst 3 home runs. Bottom line is Hyannis is having trouble scoring, and they're having trouble pitching. And that's why they're 2-8. The 0-2 sails high, 1 ball and 2 strikes now. So Pat Gallagher actually losing some MPHs on that fastball. Elevated in the zone. If that reading is right, 89 miles an hour. We're typically used to seeing him around 92, 93. Still 1 out. Infield at double play depth. No score in the bottom of the second. And Greer pops it up. Foul ground. Zach Lou, the third baseman, on for a look towards the Hyannis dugout. And the ball boy in the way. Zach Lou just could not get there. And it drops by the bucket for an interesting foul ball.
In the way and kind of setting a screen, maybe not letting Lou go get it, but it drops right by the screen that protects foul balls from going into each team's dugout. But almost a nice play made in foul territory.
Now Zach Lou had a choice. Get the baseball or make an 8-year-old enemy. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The slider just off. 2-2. And we've seen Lou make some really fantastic plays in foul territory, especially at third base. That's been one of the saving graces for Lou, is his defense. Runner goes, the 2-2 swung on and missed. The throw down by Baez, bounces over the head of Ferreras into center field. Tyler Williams comes on to scoop it up and keep the runner Romano put at second base. It's a stolen base for Romano and a swinging strikeout for Mason Greer, the 4th K of the day for Pat Gallagher.
And Brad, the last 6 games for Greer, he has 2 strikeouts the last 6 games, each of those 6 games. So 12 strikeouts over the last 6 games for Greer in his first at-bat he fans against Gallagher, who records his 4th strikeout. Now trying to get out of it with a runner in scoring position.
It's Dominic Keegan's turn, the right fielder. With a runner on second, Gallagher from the stretch comes set at the belt and deals. It's popped up to the infield. Gallagher waves his arms out, calls for the fair catch, punt returner style, and makes the catch. Sign retired. At the end of 2, no score between the Red Sox and the Harbor Hawks right here on the Whitey Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein. Will Connerly here with you. And Jalen Nolan, the left-hander, on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. And he's going to face off against the 9th place hitter in YD's lineup, the center fielder, Tyler Williams. It's Williams, Graham, and Hoffman, 9, 1, and 2 scheduled to hit here in the top of the third. No score. One hit for YD. It came in the first off Wyatt Hoffman. He pulled a ball to left field. But it was Nolan last frame who struck out the side in order. He said to Pat Gallagher, anything you can do, I can try to do better. After Gallagher struck out the side the frame before. A 1-ball, 1-strike count here to Tyler Williams.
And Williams with a chance to be a table setter here. Strikeouts have been a problem for him too.
And he swings through the low fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It was 93 miles per hour as it got behind Williams. And here comes the 1-2 pitch from Nolan. It's fouled away to the left side, so Williams stays alive. Here in the top of the third, no score. 32 pitches thrown for the left-hander on the mound. No action in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks. That ball hit to the left side, but a skying catch for Kyle Ball over at short. He climbed the ladder and makes the play at shortstop after Williams struck the ball on the screws, but it's Ball who leaves the ground and makes the catch for the first out in the top of the third.
What a play from Ball. That was incredible. He had to time it perfectly, and that's when you know you're cold, because Tyler Williams, that's probably the hardest hit ball he's had as a Red Sox, and he still gets nothing from it.
Peyton Graham swings through a high fastball on the first offering from Nolan, who's retired 6 Red Sox in a row, and another swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch makes the count no balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out in the top of the third. Nolan out of the wind, and the 0-2 pitch. It misses up and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Here to Peyton Graham, who's been the best hitter for the YD Red Sox here this season. He fouls it back. And YD, yeah, they've hit 5 home runs on the season, but Graham has the only home runs on the active roster. They lost 3 when Brooks Lee left. Swing and a miss, though, on the pitch, and Graham goes back to the dugout after he strikes out, swinging through another off-speed pitch from Nolan. There's 2 outs, and Wyatt Hoffman comes to the plate.
Yeah, it just looked like Peyton Graham was guessing there, and Jalen Nolan fools him, had him way out in front. That's just good pitching for Jalen Nolan.
Wyatt Hoffman singled to left field in the first. And he's really been on a tear as that pitch misses low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Nolan out of the wind, the 1-0 pitch. It's fouled away to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. But Hoffman now on a 6-game hitting streak. 7 of the past 8 games he's had a hit. The game he did not, he went 0 for 1. That pitch misses outside. He's now, according to Point Streak, hit 8 line drives on the season, and all of them have been to left field. He's been primarily a pull-heavy hitter. And a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch here from Nolan. He hits this ball towards center field. Back goes Caden Rose, and he retires Hoffman. Another clean frame for the left-hander, and we send it to the bottom of the third. No score on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein. Will Connerly here with you. And no score as we've arrived in the bottom of the third. Pat Gallagher, 2 clean frames of work, and he's out for his third inning. The starter out of UConn emerged as the number 3 starter on the team this past season as the right-hander gets the signs from Nate Baez in the first offering here in the third. Misses low to Dylan Post, the catcher for the Harbor Hawks today. He's 3 for 9 this season with 1 run driven in. And the 37th pitch of the start for Gallagher is a strike, so it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So, yeah, 2 clean frames, but you mentioned 3 3-ball counts, and the pitch count may be a few ticks higher than you'd like, but you like the 2 scoreless frames from the right-hander for sure. 4 strikeouts through 2 clean frames as well for Gallagher, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count after the pitch misses high here to Dylan Post. And the 2-1 pitch from Gallagher is in there for strike number 2 at 88 miles per hour.
Gallagher's throwing the ball really well, but with those 3-ball counts, especially at the 3-ball counts that evolved from those 0-2 counts, it sometimes feels like he's being too aggressive.
He gets it in the strike zone there, shows the aggression, and dots up the corner for a strikeout to begin the bottom of the third. His 5th strikeout as he catches Dylan Post looking. He watches it go by, and that now brings up the 9th place hitter in the order, Mitch Hartigan, 6 for 35 this season. A 171 average with 1 run driven in. And Hartigan takes the first pitch for a strike. It was an off-speed pitch by Gallagher. So 0-1 the count here with 1 out. The 0-1 pitch from Gallagher again goes with the off-speed. So back-to-back off-speed pitches, and he gets ahead of the 9th place hitter, Hartigan. Swinging it from the left side, playing left field today. The 0-2 misses outside. And the 1-2 pitch from Gallagher. Hartigan just got a piece of it. He stays alive. 6 hits so far this season, but a 171 average for Hartigan. Went 0 for 3 against Wareham on Friday. The last time the Harbor Hawks were in action. And it's a strike 3 call. The off-speed pitch caught Hartigan looking, and Gallagher with back-to-back strikeouts. He gets them both looking to start the third, and now has recorded 6 strikeouts through 2 2/3, and the lineup flips back over to Caden Rose, who struck out swinging back in the first when Gallagher struck out the side in order.
And that's the nastiest pitch that we've seen from Pat Gallagher. That slider at the knees, and Hartigan was sitting on the fastball at 1-2, and that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. And maybe it was a little low, but a great frame by Baez, an unhittable pitch.
The 1-0 pitch is fouled back by Caden Rose. Rose from Alabama, hitting .243 on the season. He's been the best hitter for Hyannis. 9 for 37 on the year coming into this game. Struck out swinging back in the first as he fouls that ball back. Out of play, so a 1-ball, 2-strike count here with 2 outs. Bottom of the third, no score. 1 hit for YD, no hits thus far for the Harbor Hawks. And Gallagher deals the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Gallagher strikes out the side in order for the second time this game. Gallagher in complete control. And we've got no score after 3 on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein. Will Connerly here with you, and we've arrived at the top of the fourth. No score, and of course no score because we've seen a pitching duel. Both pitchers throwing the ball effectively as Nolan goes out for his fourth frame of work for Hyannis, and he's going to face off against Baez, Luttrell, and Huff in the YD order. 3, 4, and 5 up for the Red Sox, and it's Baez who swings through a low and outside fastball on the first offering of the fourth inning from the left-hander Jalen Nolan. And it's fouled back, so 0-2 the count. Baez drew a walk back in the first. Has 11 hits on the season, including 3 runs driven in. And the 0-2 pitch from Nolan misses outside. Nolan, through 3 innings, has just surrendered 1 hit. It was to Wyatt Hoffman. And has struck out 5 Red Sox compared to 1 walk. As that pitch misses inside, the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here in the top of the fourth, no score. Nolan gets the sign and kicks for the 2-2. It's a swing and a miss. It went into the glove of Dylan Post, and the 6th strikeout for Nolan. And the first out is recorded here in the top of the fourth. That brings up Chase Luttrell.
Jalen Nolan has been mixing up his pitches really well, and we talk a lot about the way Pat Gallagher has been elevating his fastball and using the slider effectively. Jalen Nolan, with the same pitch mix, has actually done a pretty similar job commanding the slider. What he's done differently is commanded the bottom of the zone. That's something I've noticed, and really making YD chase.
The 0-1 pitch to Luttrell, swing and a miss. So Luttrell in an 0-2 hole. He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging back in the first. Has 9 hits on the season with 2 runs driven in. And the left-handed hitting right fielder trying to battle. The 0-2 from Nolan misses low, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. 13 strikeouts between the 2 arms, and we're in the top of the fourth with 1 out recorded for Nolan. Both pitchers in control and getting the strikeouts as Luttrell fouls it right down toward a hit off Luttrell and stays at a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
And he had been nursing that right foot after getting hit by a pitch against Chatham. Was actually thankful for the off day due to rain. And it looked like he might have gotten a piece of that right foot on the foul ball, but really didn't react much.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes after the 1-2 missed low. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Nolan. And it's low as well, so the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 away. Here in the top of the fourth, nobody on. On deck is Cody Huff. And the 3-2 pitch is grounded to the right side. Nolan gloves it, but nobody over at first. And it's Luttrell who gets there in time, hustling down the line. And YD has a base runner here in the top of the fourth.
Oh, that's Luttrell's game. We know he has a lot of power and he has some extra base potential at the next level, but the reason that Chase Luttrell is an absolute cog in the middle of the lineup for YD, plays like that. He will give you a hard 90 no matter what, and he especially gave you a hard 90 knowing that was an in-between play for Nolan, a very tough one, and it would have been extremely impressive had he made it.
Yeah, Nolan made the correct play on it when a ball's slowly hit to the right side. Pitchers, they're taught to go over to first base. He tried to glove it, but nobody was there. He tried to get there in time, but you mentioned Luttrell. He legs out an infield single, so he is on first base, and it's an 0-1 count here to the designated hitter, Cody Huff. He grounded out to second to end the first last time he was at the plate. 2 for 11 so far on the season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 runner aboard for the YD Red Sox. No score, top of the fourth. And the 1-1 pitch, Luttrell is off and running. The hit and run works to perfection. Hit to the right side for Huff. Luttrell advances to third, and there's runners on the corners with just one out. Here in the top of the fourth, it was Luttrell who was in motion, and the ground ball hit to the right side for Huff. That pulled Romano over to second, and the ground ball was right in the position of Romano. So that brings up Drew Bowser with runners on the corners and trying to give YD the lead here in the top of the fourth, just one out.
So that's the mastery of Scott Pickler. He loves the hit and run, and he loves players that can execute the hit and run. It's no coincidence that Cody Huff hit a ground ball to where the second baseman Romano was. He hit it there because he knew he wouldn't be there because Luttrell was running for second. A tailor-made hit and run.
And the first offering to Bowser misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out here with runners on the corners. In the top of the fourth, no score. 3 hits for the Red Sox, 2 of which have come in the last 2 hitters. Swing and a miss, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Bowser chased the low breaking ball, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Luttrell had the infield single, and then Huff with the ground ball to the right side. The hit and run, and Luttrell advances to third. It's Huff who's now running to second. He's able to steal. Luttrell's coming home. He slides in his safe, and YD takes the lead. Going into third is Huff. He is meet at third, but Luttrell still comes around to score. YD gets a run. Huff was running from first, and then Luttrell was off to the races home. He comes around to score. Huff off the base paths, but it's a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox here in the top of the fourth. Crazy play there, Brad.
I just can't believe that Post actually threw down a second because Chase Luttrell was about 25 feet off the bag. He had a head start, and he already has some speed. He proved that in how he got over the first base, and that is exactly what Scott Pickler wanted to happen, and Hyannis is playing into YD's hands right now.
And the 3-1 pitch from Nolan over to Bowser, and misses high, so Bowser is able to reach a board. And 2 pitches ago, you had runners on the corners and 1 out. 1 pitch later, both runners off the base paths. It's Luttrell who comes to score, and Huff who got to second and then started to try to take third. He was out at third after the throw from Post, the catcher for Hyannis, but he's off the base paths, but YD will take it. They got the run, but now Bowser is aboard after drawing the free pass. That ball on the first pitch grounded to the left side by Luke, gloved by Mann, the third baseman, and it's scooped over by Greer at first for the third out, but not before Chase Luttrell comes around to score for the YD Red Sox. They have a 1-0 lead as we send it to the bottom of the fourth on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.